They have issued a stern warning against the misapplication of borrowing proceeds, emphasizing the need for greater fiscal discipline and adherence to the Fiscal Responsibility Act. The discussion was delivered by Executive Chairman of the FRC, Victor Muruako, during his welcome address at the National Summit of Fiscal Responsibility Agency in Nigeria that was held on Thursday at the NAF Conference Center, Abuja. Muruako stressed the importance of ensuring that borrowing proceeds are used solely for long-term capital expenditure, as outlined in Section 44, subsection 2B of the Fiscal Responsibility Act. He reiterated highlighting frequent violations of this provision by various levels of government. The FRC chairman expressed concern over the lack of adherence to the conditions stipulated in the Fiscal Responsibility Act, particularly the subnational government. Muruako also addressed issues related to inadequate fiscal coordination, especially in debt management and procurement practices, which have implications for Nigeria's overall debt profile. Now, let's look at Nigeria's overall debt profile now. Maybe not overall, but a statement from the World Bank recently that Nigeria is now the third, debtor in the world.
In the whole world.
Talking about from the World Bank, when they released their top 10, Nigeria took the third position. And now having this story talking about debt service where the FRC is warning against misuse of loans, it's pointing at something now. I don't know if you're looking at where it's pointing at. And then the fact that they have mentioned that the rule, the regulation of the commission is not even kept, is not followed by some of these government officials who get to borrow. So, what is your analysis of the story, your reaction?
There is a saying that it is the rat inside that told the one outside, or that showed the one outside where the fish in the house is kept. You understand the point? So, there is no how an average Nigerian, someone like you and I, will go and borrow, and then the government will not proactively go after you and I. It's happening within them. So the FRC should go after those politicians, those government functionaries or personnel that are borrowing the money meant for the nation without probably utilizing it very well to advance the economy of Nigeria. They should go after them. They're warning, what are we going to do? Are you aware when they borrow the money? We don't know. So releasing that kind of statement at this particular point in time is like also telling Nigerians that the thing is now choking us. We now need to start speaking out. Let the world know what we are facing through, or what we are passing through. Let Nigerians know. He should go beyond that point. He specifically mentioned state and local, right? Let us have the data. Make the data public if they don't want to refund the money, because this is Nigerian money, it's all our money. So if some persons have collected and because they are part of the system and they don't want, then make it public. Let us know that you are now sincere and you are ready to now go after them.
Let's look at the misuse of loans, right? Loans are not just given out. You have to state what you want to use the loan for. And if they are talking about misuse of loans, it means that the loans are not even used for what they said they'll be used for. And then going back to the World Bank, now we had other countries, taking the Nigeria took the front burner, top three. I mean, that's a lot. It already shows that the funds that we're collecting, the loans that we're collecting, are we really utilizing them? Look at the economy. One would think, looking at the amounts that the World Bank has said Nigeria has borrowed, one would think that maybe it could have, enhanced the economy. But at the moment, the economy is bleeding. Imagine this administration saying that they inherited a dead economy. That was actually their statement. And then when we followed up that story about the World Bank stating Nigeria's third position in the borrowing space, we also looked at them mentioning that it also had to do a lot with this administration not taking that out of the picture. So how can we even come to a point where these people will get to understand utilizing the loan. Let's even look at how exactly this is affecting our economy. Collecting loans should help your business, right?
That is it.
But at the end of the day, your business is suffering and yet you're
Scrambling.
collecting loans. So let's look at how exactly this is affecting our economy.
You know, it boils down to what we said before. Because it has to do with government. There is no proper monitoring. There is no implementation of sanctions. Some of the rules that are being stated, nobody bothers. Is national cake. So you collect your own, I collect my own, and then next administration comes and inherits a dead economy, just like we had in this current administration, and the system keeps recycling like that to the detriment of the masses, to the detriment of poor Nigerians. It is an eye-opener to Nigerians, hearing this from the FRC chairman, that loans are not being judiciously used, are being misapplied. And then Nigerians are lamenting. Nigerians are crying. What are they doing about it? Like I said before, issuing stern warning is not just what is required. If somebody that took a loan has failed, just like the bank, once you fail, they go after you.
There's no smiling. No,
it is business. There is,
yes.
It has legal document. You invoke the legal action immediately. But how many of our politicians, how many of our government personnel that you have heard while in office that he misappropriated or he didn't apply a particular loan that he took, and then the government went after them?
There's a saying that it's the people that go into leadership. The leadership positions are held by Nigerians. People who were probably formerly just, amongst the masses. And then so there's this, I want us to look at it from here. I know we would always want to look at what the government is doing or not doing. Of course, we'll get to talk about that, which you already started doing. But let's look at the fact that there's this borrowing nature. Have you seen these loan apps crying out? A lot of people have borrowed from loan apps. And that's the end of it. In fact, I heard someone the other day saying, don't worry, they can't come after you. There's nothing they can do. And then there was a particular loan app at one point where people were saying that there were lots of skits that were released. That's how we knew that that's what they do. They just come to your door, like they want to preach to you, and you confirm. Once you confirm you are that person, they pick you up immediately. So we have this, do you think that we have this borrowing nature amongst us, and then we just want to lavish money? Or what exactly is the problem? Because these people in leadership are coming from the masses. It's one of us. So this ideology that the people have, then they take it into government. And that is what is probably happening currently. But for where the economy is at the moment, do you think that borrowing is something that we should be doing now? Or do you think that the economy can strive without borrowing?
Is not out of place to borrow. I don't think government can operate efficiently without borrowing. Some individuals into business too may not, I don't think they can as well function effectively without borrowing. I don't know anyone into business and the business is advancing and you want to attain a higher level that you wouldn't want to also get facility from somewhere and inject. Okay. I think the major problem here, just like you said, the mindset, the mentality of our people when it comes to government fund, which is our collective entitlement. Some of us, once we get into government office or position, we see it like it is my turn to collect. It is my turn to take part of the national cake. So when they even collect facilities, when they borrow, they don't deem it necessary to refund. And of course, because there's no accurate database or monitoring system or sanction that will be followed, based on them defaulting. So that gives them the boldness and the courage to do all manner of things. Considering the way Nigeria is currently, I wouldn't subscribe or suggest that our government should keep borrowing. Rather than borrowing, our government should attempt to creating a stable economy and then industrialize the nation, let the people get to working. Once I work, pay me for my service. I keep wondering why it's difficult for Nigerian leaders to think in that direction and implement their blueprint. You discover that once I was listening to one state the other day, you need to see the governorship aspirant. You know, you need to see the good things he was saying. And I was like, well, and people were hailing him, shouting. In my mind, I was asking, so I never still get sense. People are still hailing, shouting. Once the person gets into office, all the blueprint, all he has said will be forgotten. You know, so Nigeria, we are used to that. We are used to saying good things. Then when it comes to implementation, you see us lagging behind. So I want to quickly suggest that the issue of borrowing should be drastically reduced. The issue of our country collecting more loans, individuals from the handling government offices, you know, borrowing from the government facility should be reduced. The government should use that money to develop the economy where the masses will have direct impact of what the money is being used for. That is what we should be talking about at this practical point in time.
Thank you so much, Love Daily.